Okay, Stevie, Nicol, Europa League preview. Let's start with Man United against Roma. United the favourites for this one for you?
Big favourites. Listen, it seems a little harsh, but you've got players like Smalling and Mkhitaryan who are performing at the highest level for Roma, but who are, no all intents and purposes, Man United rejects. So you have to think that Man United are the favourites going into this game, and they definitely are. You know, Roma's on a pretty horrible run. What, 2 weeks ago they were kicking around the top four. They were in there with a fighting chance, and it's pretty much fallen apart. No wins in three, 2 losses and a draw. And the draw they got against Atalanta, how they got a draw, I have no idea. They got completely outplayed, and it was only because of a red card. Atalanta go down to 10 men and got themselves back in the game. So the form book says Manchester United, and on paper, you look at two sides, it has to be a Manchester United victory for me.
Stevie, Man United's form in Europe's been very good, as has their form in the Premier League. But for Roma, they've kind of kept their best form for Europe, haven't they? Because you mentioned that Atalanta game, but recently they've lost against relegation-threatened Torino and also Cagliari. So how do you kind of flick the switch on and off between your Serie A form for Roma and your form in Europe?
Truth is, you can't. You certainly can't do it on a regular basis. You'll get away with it every now and again, but generally, when your form is what it is, to think that all of a sudden it's just going to go through the roof from nowhere is, well, it's a bit like praying, isn't it, before the game, hoping for the best. And so, as far as form's concerned, as far as, you know, looking at the two sides on paper, as far as match winners, you've got to go with Manchester United, clearly. Are Roma capable of surprising United? Well, yes, they are, but unfortunately, not over 2 legs. If they can somehow get something out of this first game to hold on to, then they would obviously have a puncher's chance more than anything else. But I don't see that happening either way. So, listen, as you can tell, I think Man United are so big favourites here that even though this is a semi-final, it almost seems as though it's kind of a qualifier. That's how far ahead Manchester United, in my opinion, are from Roma.
Well, you can argue as well that Man United beat a better side in Milan than Roma. So you've got United going through. Therefore, do you also have an all-English final? Arsenal against Villarreal. Would you like in that?
Oof, that's a tough one. You know, again, you know, Villarreal, I would say Villarreal are a more consistent team than Arsenal in general. But I would say that Arsenal at their best, and with match winners now available, you know, the good news for Arsenal going into this game are that Aubameyang and Lacazette are both fit. Now, whether they start's a different matter, but when it comes to match winners, I think Arsenal just shade it. Of course, you've got the great added manager battle. You've got Arteta against Unai Emery, who of course will be desperate to show Arsenal that they made a mistake in letting them go. So there's a lot of things in Villarreal's favour, but unfortunately for them, I think what's in Arsenal's favour is the match winners, and not just Aubameyang and Lacazette. You know, young Saka has been absolutely outstanding. Emil Smith-Rowe, I think, is a match winner as well, and of course Odegaard's fit. So for match winners, Arsenal just shade it for me.
There's a Champions League spot up for grabs for the winners of the Europa League. That's the only way Arsenal are going to get into that competition next season, because they're not going to do so through the league. Does that make them more dangerous opponents for Villarreal?
Do you know, I'm not so sure. I don't think players, I'm sure the manager is probably looking at this as a way into the Champions League. The players, I think, kind of take it more game to game. You know, they're stepping on the field just hoping to have a good game. You know, they're not thinking too far ahead. So I'm not so sure that it makes any difference. I think really the difference will be, will Arteta prepare them properly? Will they know what they're up against in Villarreal? They'll certainly have to keep their eye on the two front guys, Moreno and Alcacer. But after that, I'm not sure where the goals are coming from Villarreal. So if Arsenal are prepared properly, then again, and that's another reason why I would say they are favourites in this.
It's a tough one to call. And Roma and the other one, if they play at their best, knowing that they're not going to get into the Champions League and Serie A through their league position, it makes them difficult. So I think Man United and Arsenal being the two favourites, but it wouldn't be the biggest surprise in the world if either Roma or Villarreal were to upset one of the English sides, would it?
No, it wouldn't be. I would be surprised if Roma upset Manchester United, to be honest. But the other one wouldn't surprise me. As I said, as far as consistency of performance, listen, Villarreal may be in 7th position, I think, in their own domestic league, but I think a lot of that is down to the fact that I don't think they've got particularly good finishers in their team, and so there's a lot of points I think have disappeared during the season because of that. But in general, Villarreal are very consistent, the way they pass the ball around, the way they play. They've got a great level of performance. And that is the one thing that they will have over Arsenal, because Arsenal kind of fall into the little trap of you're not quite sure what you're going to get from them game to game. So, yes, Villarreal wouldn't be a shock. Roma, on the other hand, I think Roma would be a surprise if they knocked Manchester United out.
Full coverage and reaction from the two first legs of the Europa League semi-finals right here at ESPNFC.com.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.